I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network with news breaking that the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is likely to criminally indict Donald Trump very soon, and with other news breaking that special counsel Jack Smith is compelling multiple individuals in Trump's inner circle to testify further before a federal criminal grand jury as Jack Smith's actions move closer to a federal criminal indictment. Donald Trump is responding yet again, this time by making a very bizarre video of himself in a very dark room where I guess he has a message to the prosecutors as well as to the American people. This is so strange. Here, let's play this clip of the video that Donald Trump made of himself in response to this breaking news of justice. Play the clip.
Our country has become the investigation capital of the world. Actually, that's all we do, and it's only good for our many enemies, our enemies that are laughing at us all over the world. They could not be happier as they brilliantly plot our demise and destruction. We have to get back to making America great again.
So there we have Donald Trump saying that all America is known for is investigations. What are you talking about? That just shows you, though, what a malignant narcissist Donald Trump is, because he is being criminally investigated. That means that all that happens in America is criminal investigations. I mean, just complete and utter lunacy. And speaking about complete and utter lunacy, after he completed making that video, he attended Kimberly Guilfoyle, or as Michael Cohen calls her, Kimberly Gargoyle, when he does the impression of Don Jr. saying, Kimberly Gargoyle. I love when Cohen does the impression. But Trump attended Kimberly Guilfoyle's birthday party and then just started dancing like a... Anyway, you play this clip. Like I'm all for people dancing. First of all, I don't consider that dancing. But the dancing of these individuals is just so completely and utterly bizarre. I mean, look, I'm digressing here for 1 second, but I got to play this clip for you. This was Kimberly Guilfoyle before one of the big speeches that she gave. This is how, I get a big speech. This is how she comes out before she gives a speech. Play this clip. And of course, we can't forget, here's Kimberly Guilfoyle dancing on the ellipse while the insurrection is taking place. Play the clip.
Kimberly!
I'm sorry I digressed for a moment, but at the same time Donald Trump same day he's making that video, let me just talk to you about the types of things that he's posting as well.
And now let's take a quick break to talk about our next partner, Lomi. Now, I've never been able to compost before. It was always too complicated, too much work, and frankly, I don't think I even knew exactly if I was doing it right. Then I got a Lomi. Lomi allows me to turn my food scraps into dirt with just the push of a button. Lomi is a countertop electric composter that turns scraps to dirt in under 4 hours. There's no smell when it runs, and it's really quiet. Thanks to Lomi, I have way less garbage each week. My family, we're down from 3 bags per week to just 1. And here's something pretty cool. My wife, she recently started gardening, and we've been able to use the dirt that Lomi produces to help fill the garden. And since I got my Lomi, I throw out way less garbage. That means it's not going to landfills and producing methane. Instead, I turn my waste into nutrient-rich dirt that I can feed to my plants. I feel so great knowing that I'm composting and creating soil instead of waste. And I have basically a limitless supply of dirt for my garden. The other week I had my in-laws over for dinner, and the food cleanup process was such a breeze. Plus, they all think I'm super eco-conscious now. If you want to start making a positive environmental impact or just make cleanup after dinner that much easier, Lomi is perfect for you. Head to lomi.com/Meidas and use the promo code Meidas to get $50 off your Lomi. That's $50 off when you head to lomi.com/Meidas and use promo code Meidas at checkout. Food waste is gross. Let Lomi save you a cold trip out to the garbage can. And now, back to the video.
He's reposting on his social media platform just complete BS from Tom Fitton, who's his legal advisor. Of course, Donald Trump's legal advisor is actually not a lawyer, so it's not protected by attorney-client privilege. Tom Fitton spoke before the federal criminal grand jury assembled by Jack Smith. But this is what Tom Fitton wrote in a post that Trump reposted. Election interference. New York Times reports that New York City Democratic politician in an obvious abuse of power concocted unprecedented criminal charge against @real Donald Trump based on, quote, untested, novel, and risky legal theory. Like, they just lie. Like, New York Times didn't say any of that. Well, the New York Times, I think, did say that the legal theory was novel and untested and potentially risky, but they didn't say that in an obvious abuse of power, it concocted unprecedented criminal charge. And don't you love that they're citing the New York Times now? You know, it's the failing New York Times when the New York Times criticizes them, but when the New York Times tries to write a story, because the New York Times also wants to both sides the issues, when the New York Times says, well, this is a novel legal theory, now all of a sudden the New York Times is their go-to source that they are citing that Donald Trump is posting. Well, because none of what they do ever makes sense. Now here's Donald Trump also posting, the Democrats are using, he's reposting this, the Democrats are using their prosecutors to try to steal another presidential election. The only candidate they don't want to run against is Trump. Me, despite their disinformation. Like where he goes, me. Despite their disinformation campaign to the contrary. I beat them twice, did much better the second time, and they don't want to do it again. Will be a lot tougher for them to cheat and rig election, and that's why they are using their city, state, and federal prosecutors. Republicans in Congress are watching closely. DOJ should stop. Don't you like? DOJ should stop. You know, the Department of Justice. Hey, did you get this letter? I mean, think about the malignant, narcissistic mind of Donald Trump, right? The DOJ goes, in Donald Trump's mind, the DOJ is going to get this letter and go, wow, he put in capital letters that the DOJ should stop. Wow, what a very scary post Donald Trump made on his weirdo social media platform for QAnon cult followers. What are we going to do, Jack Smith? He's telling us that we need to stop. I mean, when you read this over and over again, you see, though, why I wanted to show you like him dancing and Kimberly Guilfoyle dancing is because this MAGA movement, though, has this, you know, fortunately, it has this like idiocracy and weirdness to it as well, and they're all over the place, but it's also very, very dangerous, and it combines this dangerous fascism with the idiocracy. And you see it here in this video. You see him making videos to the prosecutor. I'll show you this last clip of Donald Trump. This is him at Kimberly Guilfoyle's birthday, where he's supposed to give a speech about her birthday. And he talks about how he lies and says the Democrats used COVID in order to cheat. I mean, there's some deranged stuff here. Play the clip.
We had a rigged election. It was rigged like nobody's. And they used COVID to cheat, and they did cheat, and it's all over the place, and everybody knows it. But they used COVID to cheat, but we are going to win it again, and it'll be, I think, bigger, better, stronger than ever before. They're fighting like dogs.
Look, I don't know about you, but I am so glad that the wheels of justice are turning in the right direction here. It's so important that, that Donald Trump be brought to justice. I mean, him and his ilk, it's a menace. They are a menace to our democracy, and I am hopeful that this sad and dark and frankly weird and bizarre and fascistic chapter in American history will be reserved in our textbooks under the chapter on traders. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your incredible support. So please hit the subscribe button right now. Please hit subscribe. In addition to subscribing, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. You will love the content that we have on our Patreon site, but most importantly, it helps grow this independent media platform. Until next time, I am Ben Meiselas.
Love this video? Then you'll love the MeidasTouch podcast. Listen as my brothers and I break down the latest news and chat with top political leaders on the fastest growing pro-democracy podcast in the world. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday. Add the MeidasTouch podcast right now wherever you listen to your podcasts.